Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Tell Me Everything Frog Girl Friday. I'm your host, Danielle Spinelli, and I'm kicking it summertime. Feels like sublime up in here. I'm painting my deck. I'm loving life. It's hot. It's supposed to be 78, and today is March what day? 6th. And this will be coming out, I think, in the end of April. And everybody's like, oh, it's already warm. We already know. But this is awesome. This is why I live in Georgia and don't live in Minnesota anymore. Okay, anyways, sidetrack here, brain squirrel, whatever. I got Bloodhound on with us and Curtis on with us with Bloodhound, and great. Like, I saw their stuff whenever it was. I did my webinar March of 24. So I think it was like January. And I was just like, this is the way of the future. Like, the container level shipping, especially if you own a ton of containers out there, it's so necessary to confirm that A, your shipment's safe, B, your shipment's not being used for, malicious, intent, like human trafficking, for instance, and having detection on if it is, and let's save people's lives. I just think that what a success story where if you were to, let's say, find that and recover people, and you're not having half the people dead in a thing. I mean, like, you hear about that all the time in the news. That's devastating. And to have that be on my container as a company would be awful. But on top of that, I think the rail theft, ocean containers, like, it's just that type of theft and that type of problems that we're having in that industry is not talked about enough. And I know I say that on here a lot, but I think that Bloodhound does have a good solution for that, especially if you are a intermodal company or you're, a container company where you're shuttling that from here to there or whatever. So, anywho, on top of theft and all that, they do a bunch of other stuff too. Awesome stuff. Check out Bloodhound and let's jump in it. Cool, cool. All right, we're rolling. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, Danielle. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I appreciate you coming on. If you don't mind, just to kind of get everything kicking, if you will introduce yourself, kind of say a little bit about what you do, and then we'll kind of get into all the things.
Sure. Sure. My name is Curtis Spencer. I'm the CEO of Bloodhound Tracking Device, and we're a unique tracking device in that we have several product categories. We have BTD Plus, Bloodhound Tracking Device Plus, which has all of the sensors. If you open the door, the camera takes your picture, has the shock, the temperature, humidity, CO2. We can test for human trafficking, and our units talk. Inside unit talks to the outside unit. All the units talk to all other units, and that is the BTD Plus. Then we have the BTD Tracker 1, which is just track and trace. There's some customers that want simple GPS cell track and trace, and then we have the option to add SATCOM to that track and trace at cell level. So all of our units, all the BTD Plus units, for example, have cell, SATCOM, and our proprietary mesh. So you get a real good pick of which kind of security you want. I want the most security in a tracker, or I want the least security in a tracker, and just give me a tracker. Just
Right.
give me a tracker. So yeah, we got into business, just to answer your question, because we really couldn't find anything that did everything.
Yeah.
Couldn't find a solution that did all of those things that you need to have in order to combat the theft issue. And the theft is the real problem. I mean, these guys are so sophisticated with the spoofing and a legitimate driver shows up with what he thinks is legitimate paperwork. And then all of a sudden your trailer is going west and it should be going east.
Right.
If you have the BTD tracker on, you know immediately when it gets out of the geofence that you put it on for load. You put a geofence around traditionally high theft areas, Chicago, for example. You put it as you enter the LA basin. This is a way that people can keep informed without sitting there watching the screen all day. Nobody wants to do that. So we have our regular updates on the user interface, which we can API to anybody's TMS, and we also, if there's a breach event, if there's a linger event, think of dwell in the middle of a run. You don't want dwell in the middle of a run.
Right.
So you set those parameters and you get an immediate notification if you go past that.
Interesting. And I know something that kind of set what I thought set you guys kind of apart was it's not really something that's like added to it's not like something that's easily removed from a trailer. It's like built
It's
into the actual
covert.
container.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Very covert. And I think that's the biggest thing right now is these bad guys are finding these little pallet things that they'll have like on the very top at the very end pallet, very
Yes.
top.
Yes.
It's like that's so easy for them to grab and throw and whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a very unique approach to a lot of it's like you kind of got to own the equipment, I guess, and the container ways. Obviously, you guys have different methods too. But for those who do have their own containers and especially like rail theft, like think about that, them
Oh,
opening up
it's
those doors.
huge.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely a solution where it's a less it's very covert and you can't just rip it off of the trailer. It's there with it.
Exactly.
And then just kind of all the tech. So
Yeah,
so cool.
based on what you were just saying, with the rail, we have just made an arrangement with Bloom Global that is handling the whole platform now for the rails, where we're gonna be one of their hardware providers are capable of working with the Bloom system. So,
Mm,
if you're doing domestic intermodal, A, you're in a high theft environment because the speed at which that train moves
yep.
is prone to theft, especially if you're moving into Mexico or out of Mexico. The train speeds have always been attempting to get faster and faster because that keeps the theft from happening. But the reality is a train has to slow down. It's on a one-way street and you
Right.
got to wait for somebody to pass and then you can keep on going. Well, with the Bloodhound tracking device being covert, you don't know that it's being tracked.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is because we have the anti-theft capability, you're getting your picture taken, and that picture is of a quality that law enforcement can use it for facial recognition.
That's key. Yeah.
That's
Because they
absolutely key.
yeah, like, so, I don't know if you saw this episode that I did or whatever, but I did a ride along with the California Highway Patrol, the Cargo Theft Task Force, and it was mainly focused on rail, and so we were walking the yards and they were educating me on like, I'm
Yes.
a lot of the over the road stuff, so I didn't realize
Right.
how severe rail theft really was. And so that was just like mind blowing. And a lot of it's like, how is this such a problem when there is some measurements, like you said, like having your guys' stuff out there and making it where they like it takes the pictures or it detects these things quickly to alert,
Yes.
and then kind of going from there. So I know the other part too, the human trafficking part. If you'll talk a little bit more on
Yes,
that too,
ma'am.
because that's I think a lot of people that own containers, especially rail, like that's a big
Oh,
one
yeah.
with human trafficking. They're scared of their name, like their product getting used for that without them, of course, knowing.
Of
And
course,
then
of
that
course.
gets out into the public, and then they think they're like it could be a
Well, and it
huge
and
PR
and it
disaster.
blows your CT pet, status all to hell. If you go and think about this, when Trump closed the border, thank God, right? Closed
Right?
the door. Now, where are those guys gonna move illegals through the process? Where are the coyotes gonna go?
Yeah,
They're gonna go back to vans, smaller transports. That's gonna be the way, they start moving these people back through the country. And if you so we built this thing to sniff for ammonia and CO2. How
interesting.
did we do it? I crammed a whole bunch of engineers into a trailer and watched the CO2 level rise
Oh
to
wow,
where you can tell that there's people in there.
interesting. What's the
Yeah.
ammonia for?
Well, they've got to relieve themselves,
Oh, duh,
and there's ammonia. Yeah.
gotcha. Duh, yeah, that's crazy.
It's not fun. We don't want to think about it, but
Yeah, but
that's why we put those sensors in there. From the very beginning, our whole mission statement was, "Let's track accurately. Let's provide law enforcement with all the tools they need to catch the bad guy, not
right,
just know, 'Hey, I think my door went open,' with an accelerometer." That's not the way to do it
yeah,
because that gives you a lot of false positives, and you got people running around trying to find something that doesn't exist. If the door opens, light comes in, and our camera goes 3 times, boom, you get in a
gotcha.
burst. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as, like, are you guys getting the same type of, like, rail with, like, containers and, like, ocean containers and
Yes,
stuff like
ma'am.
that? Okay,
We're on 3
interesting.
trials right now, 1 through the Pacific, 1 through the Caribbean, and 1 going to the Indo-Pacific,
Okay,
Micronesia, etcetera. So, one's going to Australia, and all 3 of these trials are ongoing today. The unique thing about our 3rd protocol of communications, our proprietary mesh network is that you're on a ship or you're in a big stack at a terminal, you can't see the sky. Well, our units route to each other until they get to the guy that can see the sky.
Mm,
This is huge because I know exactly I'm in row N, stack number 3 at the bottom. I could
interesting.
tell. I'm 10 feet away from my unit on the GPS.
Yeah.
That's how accurate we are.
So I actually just met with somebody on the show. I think it's coming out probably prior to this one, but they're talking about like the piracy or whatever, like that's ramping
Oh,
back up.
yes, ma'am.
It's like less than what it was because we have more defenses and stuff,
Correct.
but it is like having a little bit of a burst, I guess, than what we've been dealing with
Well, and
just because they
it's not
can't.
just the Somali pirates, it's the ones over near Singapore and Indonesia that you have
Right.
to watch out for too.
Yeah.
That's the piracy is all over, it's terrible.
And so I guess having stuff like this within your containers, if that something does happen and they do, you know, do whatever they do, then you would at least have notification on your shipment.
Uh, the
Interesting.
the whole world is screaming, "Where is my box? Where is my box?" Exactly where is it?
Right.
I talked to a lot of the TMS providers at the TPM show that just happened in Long Beach, and they're telling me, honestly, we get 3 or 4 or 5 in-gate notifications on the same container over 3 to 4 days.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah. So, the and they're because they're pulling from disparate databases to get that information. When you've
Gotcha.
got the unit tracked and it's self-contained, the battery is all on its own, it doesn't rely on anybody's power, and it lasts for 5 years, you know exactly where that container is.
Yeah.
And you can make decisions, logistics decisions, based on that knowledge. So that intel is crucial. That's actionable intel. You gotta have that, and then knowing the state of the freight. Has it been open? Has it been compromised? Is the temperature too high? The humidity too much? You gotta know those things. In modern day transportation, in my view, you have to know all this stuff, or
Right.
your supply chain is at risk.
That or your competitor has product that is doing that and it turns out
Bingo.
better. And yeah. Yeah. And they are able to keep their margins low because they don't have problems with shipments.
You
I
know
think
what,
that's
Danielle, you brought up a really good point. Here's the key. In today's world, knowing this data is available to everybody means that the BCO, the shipper, has got to demand from their trucker, demand from their rail, demand from their ocean carrier, get me this level of connectivity or I'm going to go to brand X.
yeah.
And it's wonderful now. ONE has started, Hapag Lloyd has started, Zim has started. So we've got all of these companies now that are going full blown. Evergreen just announced. So now you got 4 of the major container companies. We're going to go full fleet dry box track and trace. Now
Interesting.
it's time for everybody else to join in.
So since it's not like magnetic, I guess type thing, is it built into the actual containers or welded in or
No,
am I
it
get
is magnetic. It's
oh, it is
neodymium.
magnetic.
Yeah. It's
Gotcha. It's just
700
covert.
pounds of force. Yeah, we
Okay.
just brought our units to the TPM and put it next to on a plate of steel, and you can't get it off.
Oh wow.
You can't
That's
get it off.
crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, sorry.
No, no, not another nothing. I was just gonna say that, for me, the benefits far outweigh the risks. The costs are not that much. I mean, to secure and know exactly where your freight is, at less than $30, I mean, it's $1 a day.
Yeah.
For $1 a day, I can know this? That's
Not only that, but like I think what's interesting is a lot of people think of like if something happens to a load gets stolen, they think of that load like wholesale, whatever the carrier or the broker or the
right.
insurance company that happens writes the check for it, they're like, "Oh, well, we got reimbursed." It's so much more than that. Like it is
Oh,
beyond, it's the next shipment that
it's
could have made you
terrible.
additional revenue
Yes.
and you know what I mean? Like it
Well, and your
it
whole
boils
insurance
down.
rate keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah.
The major cargo insurers have all told us, the 3 majors have all told us, "Look, you guys get a year under your belt with this, with a major, and we'll start lowering insurance rates," just like they did when you had a car alarm, back
Yeah.
when you had a car alarm. "Oh, yeah, you get a deduction." You have a house alarm. Oh, yeah, you get a deduction.
And
Oh,
they
yeah.
should be doing that because I think it
Heck,
encourages,
yes.
yeah, you know what I mean? Because even, like, with your cars, like, I have, State Farm, and they have it, like, they can, I guess they have it on my app, and then they have something in my car, so if
That's
I'm on my
right.
phone, it whatever, which is not, I'm on my phone a lot, so
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm that bad guy that does that, but, anyways, yeah, but, like, there's technology out there, and if you do the right thing, then you get rewarded for it, so,
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I think we're gonna see more and more of this. I
yeah.
think we're gonna see the insurance companies start to really get into this now. Now that we started getting full fleet adoption, you're gonna start seeing the insurance company says, "Okay, you got this on there, and we're gonna lower the cost."
Well, and they need
Especially
to.
if they have if they
Yeah, I mean, they have to, like, it's gonna get
oh,
to the
yeah.
point where nobody can afford insurance, like,
No, no.
it's along that path line now, and it does impact us as consumers' pockets so much, I think more
Absolutely.
than what people think. Because
Absolutely.
I know, somewhere I was at, and they were saying, like, 20% of each good gets there's an added 20% to each good because of having insurance and security and cargo
I
theft and
would
all that's
believe
measured
that.
in.
I would
Yeah.
believe that number. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
It sounds like a lot, but really, if you're talking about like $100 product, is your Nike instead of being $100 is 120. $20 is because they get stolen left or right on
No
rail and
kidding.
everything you
No
go.
kidding.
Yeah,
You're 100% right. And
it's
it's
interesting.
sad. I mean, it's sad that we live in a world like that, for God's sakes, where,
Yeah,
have to put up with that. I mean, it's
right.
ridiculous.
Totally. And so the base tracking part that you guys have, so basically that's just like a same type of thing, or it's a magnetic thing, but it just does the tracking. It doesn't do all the
Yeah,
CO2 and stuff.
yeah,
Okay,
that's right. And it's the
interesting.
one that's outside, so it's on the exterior of the trailer or the container.
Okay, then I guess obviously it wouldn't do pictures. That's the plus one. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm wrapping my mind around
No, no,
everything.
the inside unit sits behind the door jamb.
Yeah, gotcha, gotcha.
So it's blocked
So
the door jamb, is protected from forklifts and all that other good stuff.
so do you have any good stories of where you guys have caught something and got the pictures and seen all that? Anything juicy you can tell us?
Yeah, we had a customer that was running containers into Mexico, and we noticed that there was a breach, took the picture. Then all of a sudden we got a tamper alert where someone had taken literally a sledgehammer to our unit and knocked the
Mm.
inside unit off. Well, they put it in a bag, walked it to an office, opened the bag up, took the picture again because it's light sensitive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it took the picture. Uh, we ended up catching the bad guy. They did not see the outside unit, the communications unit at all.
Mm,
Never knew it was on there. So what they did was they took the inside unit. We ended up getting it all back. And, as you would imagine, that customer no longer gets to use that steamship carrier.
right. That's
So
crazy.
yeah. Yeah, definitely caught him.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot that you guys see, that probably doesn't even come through your desk that, that you guys are stopping, and because it's
Well,
amazing how much.
there's a lot I can't tell you about. That one I could.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. I
But
can only
yeah,
imagine.
what's really good is that we've adjusted the quality of the picture and the angle of the picture so that now we're getting really good facial, and that is making a big difference.
Yeah.
You gotta have that difference.
'Cause they say, like, the CHP guys that I was working with, like I was mentioning earlier, they were saying that even it like, for, like, a broker or whatever to grab, like, a
Mhm.
CDL, or, like, a shipper to verify there's a CDL, and even if the CDL's fake, as long as the face matches, that basically a
Bingo.
facial recognition is more important than anything because we have all the facial recognition
Oh,
software,
yeah.
government does.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, the guys, for example, the guys at Union Pacific were saying, "We got cameras all around." This is on that, remember that story that hit ABC News where they were opening up boxes and pulling out TVs.
Yep.
Remember that? They said, "We got cameras all over that'll take that picture. The problem is we can't identify who is the thief."
Right.
Or if you open up the deal and you close you take your picture when you're looking up trying to grab the next TV, you're gonna get that, and
Yeah.
you're gonna get caught. you're going to get nabbed, it's immediate. This happens literally within 15 seconds. We get that image, and that image is immediately sent to the customer. Now,
Gotcha.
some customers have told us, especially our customers coming over Mexico, want to geofence the Nuevo Laredo yard, want to geofence the border, and then we want to geofence the Laredo yard.
Mm,
So now I know exactly when my trailer got dropped. I know exactly when my trailer crosses the border, and I know exactly when it got safely to the Laredo yard.
yeah.
These 3 points, if you're familiar with Latin America, Mexican trade, right?
Mhm.
You know that that is the normal process by which trailers move from south to north.
Right.
By knowing that exact moment, I'm not waiting till 2 in the afternoon for my pedimentos to get through.
Yeah.
I know exactly, hey, staff, you can start the process right now. The trailer is in Nuevo Laredo. Get the paperwork to them. So
Right.
all of this it's huge to be able to know that exact moment because then trade flows faster. And on the Mexican border, trade
Yep.
does not flow fast.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
nothing fast about it.
Definitely. And I think as soon as you can get the alert of like, hey, prepare the dock for this or whatever, you
Bingo.
know what I mean? Like it's doing
Yeah.
that and then moving it, especially because basically Laredo's like all cross dock. So
It's
hey, I
all
have
across.
another truck that's ready to go. Because I think
Yeah.
that's where products get lost, not even just stolen, but products get lost because they sit there too long and it's not a quick transaction.
Yes.
So yeah, that's so interesting. So what made you guys get into all like were you guys in the supply chain beforehand or how did you guys even
Yeah.
find out about the
So
problem?
our founders are myself and Steve Schellenberg of IMS Worldwide. We have been
Okay.
logistics consultants literally for 45 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
We've been consulting logistics, customs. Remember I told you that our Descartes Systems is a good friend of ours because of the FTZ,
Mhm.
Foreign Trade Zone, system that you guys have, and so we've been doing this and watching this for years. I was on the COAC committee for 4 years, 2004 to 2008, in charge of CT-PAC. I was
Okay.
chair of the CT-PAC committee. I was chair of the ISF committee with Bruce, Leeds from Boeing to do the import security filing when that
Okay.
first came out. So we've been doing those things, watching what was going on, and we got pulled in 2002 to Operation Safe Commerce and the original technology solutions for the supply chain.
Yeah.
And we had to tell them back then in 2002, there's not very much. GPS was barely started. You didn't have long battery life. It was really a mess.
Right.
So we've been looking for this product for 20 years. Finally couldn't find something that really worked. So I went to my buddies at NASA and said, "Hey, can we get some help with this?" And we joined 2 guys with NASA, 2 guys from logistics and formed Bloodhound. And
Interesting.
it has worked really, really well.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I definitely I think pallet tracking is really important too, but pallet
It
tracking and
is.
then think about that being there with your guys' stuff too, and even those 2 things talking. Like, I'm big on for, like, over the road stuff, like, if you have a driver's cell phone getting tracked, their ELD getting tracked, and you got pallet tracking, but then also if you have container, if it's your
Yes.
container, it's a
Trailer
little
track.
different. Yeah. So
And the
it's
thing about
interesting.
the thing about pallet tracking is you gotta connect everything through wires to be able to get back to the ELD, right? So,
Mhm.
with our unit, we're working with a company out of Germany that's got those little pallet tags,
Mm, yeah.
and those pallet tags will, in the future, be able to talk to our units through our proprietary excuse me,
You're good. I got dogs
through
too.
our proprietary network, and we're able to oh, hold on.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, that should be better. Anyway, the proprietary mesh network is connecting those tags to our units, and now you have something even better. You have remote inventory management.
Oh,
So
interesting.
think about an LTL shipper,
Yeah.
a trucking line, they drop 5 pallets. Well, those 5 pallets are gone, and now there's 14 left, and they know right away what's in and what's not in that trailer.
Right. That's interesting. Do
Yeah.
you guys do temperature sensor too? Did you say that?
Temperature, humidity, CO2, and
Okay.
shock. We have an
And shock.
accelerometer on board. Yes, ma'am.
What would the shock be for? I guess for when they hit it with the
If they
sledgehammer,
have a
like the okay.
wreck, yes.
Oh,
Think about damage claims, railroad damage claims, huge
mm,
use of our shock sensor, yeah.
gotcha. Interesting.
It's up
Yeah,
to
that all makes
16
sense.
from 1 to 16 Gs is what it will tell you.
Okay, interesting. It's funny how like there's like honest logistics is so complex. There's so many different
Yeah.
things you can do, and
Yes.
it that's what's so interesting about it to me, and why I've been in the industry for so long because there's so many different avenues and so many different solutions that need to be fixed and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys having a solution out there for cargo theft. I think that's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for helping us get it out there because the more people know, the more they can use it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then we get safer, supply chains get more intelligent. I mean, that's the whole smart trailer, smart container is the
Yeah.
wave of the future. You have to have it.
Totally.
And it needs to be accurate. It can't be somebody's guess or waiting on human input to tell you where something is. It needs to be independently accurate to the nth degree. That's why we added SATCOM and
Yeah.
then our proprietary mesh to it.
Yeah, and kinda like you said in the very beginning, like, a lot of times with cargo theft, the driver doesn't even know that they're
No,
committing a crime. So it's like that it's sometimes it's hard to even have that detection because the driver doesn't even know. So almost getting an alert
he
and
thinks he's in
calling
a
the driver.
legitimate run. Yeah.
Right. A
He
lot of
thinks
times
he's in a
calling in the
legit
driver and you're like, "Hey, you're why are you going here?" And they're like, "Oh, I just got a call to reroute me." You're like, "What?" That's a whole I go on tangents in other episodes where I'm like, "Why are we like, why is the rerouting process for drivers so easy?" Because it's made all of these things that we do, like blind shipments and paper
Oh, think
BOLs and
about yes.
rerouting and
The whole brokerage, I mean, you have to have brokerage to have flexibility.
yeah,
But think about they just had another court case where the broker was saying, "Well, I'm not responsible for the crash because, I'm just the broker, I'm just the intermediary."
yeah,
And you get both sides of that argument,
right,
but at some point, someone has to be responsible for the freight, you
yeah,
know? And better intel for want of tracking and knowledge of the safety and the security of the inside of the box is absolutely critical for that.
yeah. And I to bring up that case, I think it's important to know I think it's super important to have information where if you kind of always being on the offense, like instead of
Right.
it's an accident happening to you or whatever, like you already being like, if I were to go to court, I can say I've done all these things to prevent and
100%.
my due diligence were done, rather than oh, I wish I would have had this and this and this, or hey, I'm because there's a lot of people that think having no information is better than having like the wrong information. I
Yeah,
guess
and I
I
totally
disagree with that.
I
Yeah,
disagree 100%. You
yeah,
you wanna be on the offense. You wanna have all your due diligence in place at a moment's notice. I mean, second they ask you, boom, 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 I did all this, the customs people call it reasonable care. I used
gotcha.
reasonable care in knowing who my shipper was, knowing who the freight forwarder and the broker was. I used reasonable care. And once you
Yeah.
demonstrate reasonable care, then you're off the hook.
Right. I think I'm hoping that's the case with this broker case too, because I think there are some really negligent brokers out there.
They are, and they don't give a crap, and
No.
they don't once I've booked it, I don't touch it,
Right.
it's just gone.
And I
So
think there needs to be I mean, like I was a broker and I get things happen. There's a lot of things out of a broker's control, but um and there needs to be set guidelines on what they are responsible for, what they're not, and that way those ones who are doing nothing just can't
yes.
get away with it anymore because it's not fair to, like, us driving down the road and them hire the worst guy
No,
out there and, whatever, so,
and
anyways,
not
that's
know what
a
his
tangent I
rating
can go
is,
for.
not know what his rank his
Yeah,
rating. You gotta do your due diligence to be able to be in the business.
100%. Yeah, I can go on tangent for that forever, but yeah,
That is an interesting topic.
I know it is. That could yeah, like I said, it's a rabbit hole, but I really appreciate you coming on. Real quick, will you say how everybody can reach you guys and get in touch with your team and learn more and all that?
Absolutely, yes. It's real simple, it's btdtracker.com. Bloodhound Tracking Device, BTD Tracker. We're pricing everything to meet the competition, And then we've got the 3 different tiers: service, trailer, container, chassis, and for less than $1 a day, you can get protected. That is significant.
Yeah, totally.
That is really significant. I think when people start to realize, "Oh, well, how expensive is it?" And it truly, I mean, that's what the NASA guys came in for, battery optimization. We truly give you 5 years, and we
Interesting.
prove it by saying, "If you don't get 5 years, I'll send you a brand new one." Just like you send in your cell phone, boom, "I got a broke cell phone, send me a new one," and you get one the next day.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks so much. Like I said, I saw your guys' product a long time ago. I had you guys on. I think I sent you that where I did the
Yeah,
California Highway Patrol in my
yeah.
webinar with my care portal and had you get like it was a little clip of it because obviously it wasn't focused on that. But no, what you guys are doing is really cool. And I think just even the human trafficking aspect of things, like, why are we not thinking about that? Like, I think as a
Yes.
society, why do we not care more about that? It's
Well, and
scary.
they just found in LA, they just found the container with the Chinese guys in it. You see that? You
No,
see
I
that?
didn't see that. That's crazy. You have to send me that. That's crazy.
That's just scary as hell,
It's
man.
so scary, and it's sad, it's super sad that these people are like that,
It's
and
terrible, man. Human trafficking is the worst of the worst, in my opinion.
especially in a
And
trailer. Oh my
oh,
god, can you
God,
imagine what torture? That's
no
torture.
kidding. Even if it was a fast ship that's 17, 18 days on the water, good
That's
grief.
how the heck are people living like that? Yeah, it's
Mm.
wild to me. It reminds me of, like, Dexter, they had that Dexter
Oh
episode.
my gosh.
And, like, I just yeah, I mean, it's wild to me, and even, like, what I think another big thing to kind of quickly bring up is that these bad guys are not just doing one crime. Like, a lot of times they're also moving
Bingo.
drugs, and they're also moving humans, and, like, they're not just stealing shipments. So,
Right.
I think
Right.
being equipped to be able to really just be notified that there's something happening and you don't want that to be on your type of equipment. Notify law enforcement so that they can do their thing and they have
Exactly.
all the information that they need to, because the biggest thing for law enforcement too to be able to do something is having, the indication of like this is going on, probable cause or whatever, so that they can go
And
get the warrant.
that's the thing I really like about our system. 10 seconds after a breach, an email goes out, breach, when, where, and the pictures.
Yeah,
So if you're the container company or the trucking company, you have it automatically set up with us that, hey, if we're in this geofence, send it to the LA Police Department. Then you get that notification email. LA Police Department gets that notification email 10 seconds. That
crazy.
is actionable intel to go get the bad guy.
And yeah, that's actually getting it. Like, we always say the first 48, it's really the first 48 minutes that you need to
You're
get on the
boy,
ball.
you said it. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. You gotta
Yeah.
nip it in the bud or they're gone.
They're gone 100%, especially in LA. Like,
Oh
your
god.
stuff's on another container ship.
Oh, Chicago, LA, I mean,
Yeah.
New York, New Jersey area, I mean, all these hotspots are prime targets, and that's the reason we created Bloodhound.
Love it. Real fast, how did you guys come up with Bloodhound name?
Got started with my engineers, and I said, "Well, we gotta come up with a name." So I went on Google and said, "What's the number 1 sniffing entity in the world?" And the Bloodhound is 1,000 times
Interesting.
better than any man-made sniffing device out there. I
That's
said,
cool.
"Bloodhound
That's it.
Tracking Device."
Yeah. No, as soon as I heard the name, you knew exactly what it was, and so it was very awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Learned a lot.
Thanks,
And,
Danielle.
yeah, have a good day, everybody.
You talk to you soon.